Hey, BassGeek here, and today we're going to be talking about underspins for pre-spawn bass. All right, before we get into talking about the underspin, I've got a couple of bits of business that I've got to take care of. Number one, the Fish Life app. Guys, I've got a brand new exclusive pack that I personally update every single month. I update with brand new waypoints every month of the year. It's the East Tennessee pack, and it's by me exclusively. Go out there. It does help the channel. It's like 20, 21 bucks a pop, but you get on South Holston, on Cherokee Lake, and on Douglas, my waypoints that I have caught fish on for years, and I update it every single month. So as things change, you're going to get the latest, greatest spots to go fish. Right now, we're still partnered with Mystery Tackle Box, but I don't know, there might be some things changing in the near future. Every single month, they send me a box, and I give it to one of you all. Like I said, I'm partnered with them. I get nothing out of it. They're not paying me. They send me this box. I send it to one of you. But I do pick a bait out of it every month and do a how-to on that time of year, how I like to fish that bait. But for right now, let's jump in and make sure we go through the baits. By the way, you can get these boxes cheap if you follow the link in the description. Again, I don't make a dime off of it, so this is strictly up to you. But it is a good thing to get you out of your comfort zone, find new baits from new and upcoming companies a lot of times that maybe you've never heard of. And this is the Pro box, so it's quite a bit of an upgrade. We're going to start out with Lunker Hunt, and guys, this is Easy Prey. This is a neat little sideways running bait, but anytime, you know, bait fish die or you're around that bluegill spawn, I could really see this because it kind of runs on its side. So it's pretty neat, really looks like a dying or wounded bait fish. So you have that shad kill every time around this time of year. That could be a great bait to get some big bites. I am a huge fan of 10,000 Fish, and I love this cycle bait underspin. Now this is a 1/4. Almost all of them come with that really heavy thumping Colorado style blade. And the thing about that is this is great when the water is up and it's a little dirtier. That blade right there is going to get you some big bites up shallow when these fish start coming up. And that's what we're going to talk about today. We've got a great little 4-inch. This is by Biowa. This is Scorpy Tail. I don't know, I'm probably butchering that, but that would actually be a great thing with the water temps out here today, you know, low 50s, 50 to 51 degrees. This would probably be a great little bait to put on the back of that underspin. But you guys know already, it is lipless time. It is the time, the prime time to be throwing a lipless. So if you're not throwing a lipless, you better go out and pick you up 2 or 3. And this IMA looks pretty sick. Now, of course, you're gonna get what the box costs. So that's the retail. I don't know, maybe I held that too close. Sometimes I do that. You're gonna get a nice, thick Dibble Digest. From Cream, good company, great worms. Gonna get a really unusual lizard. Look at that sort of bluish purple with red and green specks in it. Really neat looking lizard. And guys, Exxon makes some really great baits. And right here is they call it the green pumpkin blue flake, straightforward. And that's one of my favorite colors right there. Anything that is green pumpkin with some blue in it, it is awesome. If you don't have an awesome beard, like the new freshly cut and trimmed BassGeek, you can have one. So, you know, whatever that is, Carl's beard contest going on there. Here's a little card telling you how to fish this underspin. And as always, they put some pretty cool stickers in the box that I never get because I always give to you guys. All right, now let's get into talking about the underspin and how I like to fish it this time of year. So let's talk about rod, reel, line setup, and this time what type of baits, because the underspin listen, you can leave it to your imagination to throw things on the underspin. And I think you're going to see that right here with a lot of my go-to selections of baits. Now, I'm not going to throw your underspin because I don't want to lose it. I always like to make sure I get you guys your prizes. I'm going to be fishing the ledge head underspin, which is one of my favorite underspins in the world. A little different, but you know, I could put a Colorado blade on there if I wanted to. And this, of course, is my buddy. And this is one of the first baits that I'm going to put on. And when we start talking about baits, I really want us to talk about water temperature. Okay, I will go to some sort of swim bait, like my favorites, the Ramsey baits. This is the Sexy Shad. The one I've got on here, it's just like a pearl white, which again is a great color. I'm going to leave it up to you guys. A lot of times earlier in the year, those brighter colors are what I tend to go with. All that being said, generally, until I see water temps that are 52, 53, 55 degree, generally on an underspin, especially during cold fronts, I go with straight tails. So we're going to say 45, and really the mixing point, depending on whether you're in a cold front, like today, we're in a cold front, okay? So we're at the tail end of a cold front. Today, even though I'm seeing water temps of right at 51, right at 52, I would probably go with a little more of a straight tail. Now, if we were hitting water temps and it was high sun or really warm, you know, 60, 70 air temps, and the water temp was really warm and fast, pushing those shad up, getting them active, I'm probably going to go with a boot tail, some sort of swim bait, right? Right now, what I'm going to go with on an underspin, it's just going to be real easy, like my buddy Bass Munitions here. And guys, good news, Bass Munitions is coming back. Hopefully we'll get to see some cool things from them in the near future. Glad to see Bass Munitions back out there because they make some of my favorite baits. And this being one of them, and it's their style of a jerk bait, and sadly enough, I can't even remember what it is, but this is great on an underspin. Of course, you've got your flukes, you know, from Zoom, which is also great on an underspin. And even at times, if I really want a little kick, I'll put one of these, which is from Strike King, and it's just the Menace Grub. You can either do it like this, but I love to turn it sideways, so it's actually coming through the water like this, like a shad or a bait fish. So another great selection right there. If you're around bluegill, you'll notice a lot of mine are shad color. If you're around bluegill, go with that bluegill selection, that, you know, watermelon red, that green, you know, your bluegills. But again, a couple of my favorite swim baits, once we get up into that 53, 52 on a warm front, these are what I'm going to be throwing. One of my go-tos if I'm fishing around smallmouth is going to be my smallmouth Magic. And then of course, look, check that out, man. Sexy Shad, got a lot of great colors from Ramsey Baits. There will be links to all these baits in the description too, by the way. That's the type of baits that generally I'm going to throw. Now today, I'm just going to go ahead and leave this on because it's on. I'm going to be lazy, all right? You know, I didn't get this shape by working harder. You know what I'm saying? But for right now, let's jump into rod, reel, and line setup. I'm so disappointed in Lew's right now. And somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but the traditional BB1, I believe, has been discontinued. That is the best deep and mid-range crankbait reel, in my opinion. I think it's the best crankbait reel on the market, and they done away with it. Now they're keeping the BB1 Pro, but they are making some changes to it, so it's the new BB1. But we will get some, and we will do a review on them, and we will also do a review on this awesome rod. This is a new rod, and I want to give a big shout out to my buddy Michael Knapp Fishing. He actually hooked me up with these rods, man, and I have to say this is a good rod. We'll do a review on it. I'm going to leave it there. I don't want to give nothing away, but really impressed with this rod so far. This is an old 18 suppressor. So this is kind of my go-to underspin rod. I like a little bit longer underspin rod, not too long. I don't want to get over 7.6, but a 7.3 is perfect. A 7.3's got a little more tip and a medium heavy action, medium heavy fast, and that allows me to be able to throw lighter like that 1/4 ounce, and I can still be pretty accurate with the 7.3, so it's not short. I'm not necessarily target casting all the time, but it's kind of the best of all or both worlds. I can target cast with it, hit where I want. Still, when I'm out on those ledges and I want to cast over the school, I can still get a nice long cast, especially with the Lew's BB1 Pro. Now, I generally run low gear ratios when I'm fishing, moving baits, spinner baits, chatter baits. I want something 6'4", 6'3", really under that 6'5", okay? Because for me, I tend to reel a little too fast. I have to keep it in my mind, and that's the one thing about underspins and swim baits. If you think you're fishing slow, you're not. Slow down even more, because that's when the bites are going to come. It has to be a really slow, constant retrieve to get those big bites. K9 Fishing Line, guys, as always, that is my go-to 100 Pro. That is what I'm going to, and the size I'm generally going to throw on 12-pound test. Let's go ahead and let's jump out here, and I'm going to show you how and some of the places that I like to fish it. So where do you want to fish a underspin? Guys, believe it or not, it is anywhere. Anywhere an underspin will get a bite. You can fish it for suspended bass. You can fish it for bass on the bank. You can fish it kind of like you do a spinner bait. You're not going to want to fish an open hook, of course, really bumping, but you're going to fish it across the tops of them. You know, some of my favorite places to fish it this time of year, and it's just a great way to cover water. So let's say like it is right now, it's dead slick calm. We got pretty clear water. I'd be going with something a little more subtle, maybe the shad or the ghost shad or the silver, the smoked shad, something like that. But a great place right here is just literally right across the top of this old brush pile right here. And you know, I'm going to throw it up there, you know, fish it a little bit faster. And what's great about that cyclic bait from 10,000 Fish is that it's got that really big Colorado blade on it. What's great about that is that it's really going to put off some thump. And in situations like that tree or those laydowns over there, it's really going to cause those fish, it's going to irritate them. They're going to come up and they're going to check it out. So realistically, where do I want to fish it at? Absolutely, it's going to be places like this, these steeper channel swings. This is where I'm going to start out at, fishing a underspin. And realistically, a lot of times I'm going to let it sink to the bottom, and I'm just going to hop it up, and I'm going to slow roll it back, nice and slow, contouring the bottom. Every once in a while, you want that blade to kind of tick the bottom. So one of the tips I can give you is that if you're never touching the bottom, you're fishing a little too fast. If you're touching the bottom too much or staying in contact with the bottom, you're fishing it just a little too slow. The other great thing about a swim bait and an underspin is you can skip it under docks pretty easily with just a little bit of practice. So really for me, guys, a underspin has really become a do-all tool, year-round type of bait because of its flexibility. You're able to fish it so deep to so shallow. It can do so much. It can be super subtle, or it can be a lot of action, vibration through the water and have a lot of drawing power to it. You can skip it under docks. You can throw this bait anywhere you can imagine. There's definitely weedless versions out there that you can use, especially under heavy or around heavy cover, and really get in deep to that thick wood, that grass, or under and around those docks. So it is an extremely versatile tool. From clear water to dirty water, it can be used anywhere, anytime, and it's easy to change the color. Now, all that being said, how can you win this box? Let's do hashtag 10,000 fish. The number, hashtag 10,000 with the word fish. All one word, the hashtag 10,000 fish. All right, a little bit long, but I think you guys can handle it. The videos come out every Sunday and Wednesday, 5 p.m. Eastern time. Guys, make sure you're tuning in. As always, questions and comments in the comment section below. Make sure you put hashtag 10,000 fish to be entered to win this month's mystery tackle box. Like it if you like it. Don't forget to subscribe. Make sure you guys are ringing that bell so you get the notification when these videos come out. And as always, you guys rock.